I'm just going to remember, since we have a movie star here, that it was a movie star, George Clooney, who really affected this election. I mean, Biden might still be in there if George Clooney, talk about celebrities and how important they are. I don't think they're important in getting the voters to do something, but they sure were important in getting the party heads to finally do that.
Hold on to your seats, because we are about to unravel one of Hollywood's most shocking and unexpected downfalls of 2025. This isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's a full-blown media frenzy that has left fans, critics and industry insiders in utter disbelief. The center of it all? George Clooney, a name that has long been associated with class, sophistication, and Hollywood royalty. From his unforgettable performances to his undeniable charm, Clooney has spent decades crafting an image of success and respectability. But now, that image is crumbling before our eyes in a scandal so explosive that it could easily be mistaken for the plot of one of his own blockbuster disaster films. And the man lighting the match? Bill Maher, the sharp-tongued, no-nonsense host of Real Time. Known for his unapologetic takes and brutal honesty, Maher is no stranger to controversy, but this time, he's found himself in the middle of a feud that has completely upended the entertainment industry. This public showdown has ignited a firestorm of drama, betrayal and humiliation, capturing the attention of Hollywood's elite and everyday fans alike. Trust me when I say, this isn't just another petty celebrity beef, this is career-defining chaos, and it's as absurd as it is wildly entertaining. But before we get completely lost in this whirlwind of accusations, public embarrassment, and jaw-dro.
Come on, boys. Let's make America great again. It's your turn, buddy. Before you cast your vote in this election, think about how it'll impact the people you care about the most.
Daddy!
Remember, you can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know. Do your patriotic duty? You bet I did, brother. What happens in the booth?
Critics wasted no time in tearing George Clooney apart, labeling him out of touch, insensitive, and, perhaps worst of all, a shameless panderer. Everyone makes mistakes, sure. But this? This wasn't just a minor misstep. This was a full-throttle nosedive down the unforgiving staircase of public opinion. For years, Clooney had navigated Hollywood's turbulent waters, surviving controversies that would have sunk lesser stars. But the tides had shifted. The once untouchable Hollywood icon now had a fragile reputation, teetering on the edge of irrelevance. Determined to seize control of the narrative and salvage his public image, Clooney and his team devised a bold, high-stakes plan. A media tour meant to restore his credibility and remind the world why they once admired him. But this wasn't just any publicity run. This was a do-or-die mission. The centerpiece of their strategy? A primetime sit-down on Real Time with Bill Maher. The logic was simple. Clooney would step onto Maher's stage, flash his signature charm, issue a heartfelt apology, and deliver exclusive political insights to prove he was still a relevant, engaged voice in today's landscape. On paper, it seemed like a foolproof plan. A guaranteed redemption arc, but Bill Maher wasn't having it. Clooney's team pitched the idea with confidence, believing it was the perfect move. Maher, ever the skeptic, shut it down immediately. Reportedly, his response was brutal. This isn't a platform for celebrity rehabilitation. A stinging rejection, but Clooney's team refused to back down. Undeterred, they came back with an even bigger offer, an explosive headline-grabbing appearance where Clooney would address his harshest critics, drop bombshell revelations, and create a media spectacle that would dominate the news cycle for weeks. Maher still wasn't buying it. He saw the move for what it was, a desperate PR stunt. His audience tuned in for hard-hitting political discourse, not celebrity melodrama. And he wasn't about to turn his show into a Hollywood redemption tour. Then, Maher took it a step further. On air, he made a cutting remark about celebrity influence in politics, taking an indirect swipe at Clooney. "We have a movie star here, George Clooney, who supposedly influenced this election," he mused. While he acknowledged that celebrities might not directly sway voters, he pointed out their undeniable role in pressuring political leaders. A subtle but sharp critique of Clooney's attempt to reclaim the narrative. Why now? The rejection wasn't just professional. It was personal. Clooney's team, now visibly desperate, made one final push, a third attempt to get him on the show. This time, they pitched a live Q&A session, where Clooney would face unscripted, unfiltered questions from the audience. A raw, unguarded moment that would prove his sincerity. Maher? Still unimpressed. He shot it down. Again. And here's where things took an even wilder turn. After 3 failed attempts, Clooney himself decided to take matters into his own hands. In a last-ditch effort, he personally reached out to Maher, suggesting an off-the-cuff, unscripted conversation, just the two of them, hashing it out live. No preset questions, no filters. Maher's response? Brutal honesty. This show isn't a venue for celebrity redemption arcs. For Maher, it was never about ratings or sensationalism. It was about keeping his show's integrity intact. And that meant slamming the door shut on Clooney's comeback attempt. For Clooney, the reality was undeniable. A man who had spent decades as one of Hollywood's most beloved figures, a man whose charm alone could once open any door, was now being publicly and decisively shut out. And the humiliation? Far from over. Tensions behind the scenes were boiling over. Bill Maher, never one to shy away from controversy, reportedly began mocking George Clooney in private conversations. According to insiders, Maher called Clooney's repeated pitches pathetic, even likening the actor's desperation to auditioning for a bit part, a brutal insult for a man who had once ruled Hollywood. But these private jabs didn't stay behind closed doors for long. Word quickly got back to Clooney, and let's just say he wasn't happy. But Maher didn't stop there. During one of his monologues, he subtly threw in several digs at Clooney and other Hollywood elites, mocking actors who believe their political opinions carry more weight than their box office failures. Though Maher never mentioned Clooney by name, anyone following the feud could connect the dots. Meanwhile, Clooney wasn't about to let this public humiliation go unresolved. His team, desperate to shift the narrative, began exploring alternative media opportunities, pitching him to the Howard Stern show, hoping Stern's no-holds-barred interview style could help him take control of his story. But even Stern hesitated. Sources claim his team was wary of associating the show with Clooney's increasingly toxic public image. Behind closed doors, Clooney's frustration was reaching a breaking point. Once the embodiment of charm and Hollywood cool, he was now reportedly in full meltdown mode, lashing out at anyone who dared to criticize him. A man whose career thrived on likability and charisma was now unraveling in real time. At the same time, Maher stood firm. He hadn't explicitly named Clooney in his critiques, but the tension between them was undeniable. For Maher, this wasn't just a professional clash, it was a statement. By refusing to have Clooney on his show, Maher was positioning himself as a guardian of authenticity, unwilling to dilute his program for the sake of celebrity theatrics. So here we are, at the heart of Hollywood's most talked about scandal of the year. But this isn't just about one actor's downfall or a talk show host's defiance. It's a symbol of a broader cultural shift in Hollywood, where public sentiment and social media outrage now have the power to make or break even the most legendary careers. As for Clooney, his options are dwindling. Major studios are distancing themselves, talk shows are turning him away, and the industry that once adored him is closing its doors. The question remains, can he orchestrate a comeback, or is this the beginning of his slow fade into obscurity? One thing is certain. This drama is far from over. What do you think? Has George Clooney's Hollywood fairy tale turned into a full-blown tragedy, or does he still have a shot at redemption? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates on this ever-evolving saga.